So I can tweet it.
We're live. Welcome. Look at that. It's Michael. I just need to make sure it's actually on YouTube.
So I can tweet it.
We're live. Oh, yeah. It's duplicate. Look at that. It's Michael. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Turn that off.
Oh, you got that mad echo. All right. I'm shutting down the work computer for the day. It's a good moment. Let's do it. Shut the work computer down.
Oh, we got some people in the chat. Oh, I don't know how this is going to work with chatting.
What, on YouTube?
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Sorry, guys. We're just planning to live stream and then have a little conversation and whatever. It probably is not going to be super interesting to anyone except for us who is talking. But there's a couple other people that are planning to join as well. So
I've got a weird light thing going on.
Weird light thing? Nice.
The window's peeking through just enough. I don't know if you just open that window and let the sun in. But
So how's you guys? So what's the theme? Should the theme be Valentine's Day? So what do we all do on Valentine's Day? We all go and live stream together, bunch of guys.
Whoa.
Did you tweet out the link for the thing yet?
Screen is crushing whatever you just said.
The link's tweeted out. Let's see. Let me give it to you though.
Okay, so I can just go to your page and retweet it.
I have no idea what you just said a second ago, Jason, because it was like.
Oh no!
So if it was anything important, I didn't hear it.
It must have been really important because it wasn't announced properly. Let's see. I need to figure out how to do this. Oh yeah. So Stephen, in the little group chat, you can open up group chat, and I sent you the link there. You see that?
Oh, it's in the. You got it in there. Okay, sweet.
You see it? Is my audio coming through?
Yeah, it's come through fine now. It kind of got eaten up a minute ago, but it's come back.
Let me put on the headphones, that way it won't screw everything up.
Good. Did that come in?
Okay. I'm gonna go to the YouTube page and see if there's any comments. Oh boy, there's too many comments.
Your thing says while we work starting in an hour.
Oh, that I sent that out an hour ago.
That's still showing. It says like it was a minute ago. Weird.
Where's Josh?
I don't know. So he was coming, right?
I mean, yeah, he was definitely on board.
Michael, you can't show your screen while you're working?
I'm on my iPad at the moment.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think they gave us the option to show screen. I'm actually up in my during the daytime. My day job is in my bedroom, so I'm in my bedroom. I don't have my Cintiq or anything like that set up here.
So you're using
Clip
Studio? You're using Clip Studio on your iPad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I need to get that.
Yeah. I'm doing my fidelity job in my bedroom. I don't think I've told you, Jason, but I took on a new job with my day job as a writer, like a policy writer for the company. So I get to work from home 4 out of 5 days a week, and today's one of the days. But I just finished up. But I'm up here where the kids are not going to be noisy. If I go down to my art area, it'll be pretty noisy.
I see.
But
that's cool.
Retweeting the thing. So sorry, you won't get to see me making art. You'll just see me make my face.
You should be streaming your policy making screen.
They may have a problem with that. Like, Michael, you're not supposed to be showing our stuff. Yeah. It'd be one of those events where they take away the privileges they've given me rather than Give me more of them. This page looks cool, though.
Oh, yeah. It's
Have you
cool.
gone completely over to Clip Studio now, or are you still doing some traditional art for your pages?
All these pages were all drawn in Clip Studio.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing the painting in Photoshop still just because I'm faster that way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to think about it as hard.
Yeah, I still don't. Well, I've gotten some new brushes in Clip Studio that I think make painting better, and but I still prefer Photoshop when it comes to coloring overall.
Yeah.
But it's a way better ink engine and pencil engine, though.
Yeah, totally. I don't even like hardly drawing in Photoshop anymore.
No,
because it's
Photoshop
so much,
is a bad drawing program.
Yeah.
It's a great painting program, not a great drawing program.
Yeah.
My cat is pacing around my chair, and I'm worried he's going to just jump up on me in a minute here. Yeah, big old cat butt. Where'd Steven go?
Steven, are you there? Are you just focused?
Can you hear me?
No, I can. So you're not going to try to show your screen anymore?
Anything cool for Valentine's Day? First married Valentine's Day for you, Steven?
Steven?
Yep. I don't have to. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a big delay. I'm just gonna keep my camera off. I want to like keep streaming it, or keep sharing, but maybe my voice is the only thing my bandwidth can handle.
Mm. We do all of our Valentine's Day dates here, not on Valentine's Day, because it's way too much craziness going on.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do too.
We went out last Friday. Good time.
We went out. When did we go out? It was like towards the end of last week too. Yeah, and we're like, all right, done. No having to worry about all the Valentine's drama.
Does Chelly take
On
out
the
the boys? Does she do anything with them?
For Valentine's Day?
Yeah, like just kind of mommy son type thing.
No, I never heard of people doing that.
Well, we do. I guess we're just weird then, Jason.
You're the weird. Wow.
I take my girls out and do something with them too.
That's cool.
It's sort of fun. Like just go out to dinner and then do something fun if we can. Although this year we're taking the middle child to a daddy-daughter dance next week, and then I'm taking the older one out to dinner, and we're going to go watch a women's college basketball game because that's been her. She started learning how to play basketball, so we're going to go watch a game for the college that I graduated from. The tickets were really, really reasonable, so I thought it would be a fun night together.
That sounds fun, yeah. Well, putting me to shame. I'm not doing anything with my kids.
And my hint, he's just sitting here looking at me like, I will jump on your lap in a minute. Go on.
He's like, what about my Valentine's?
That's right. It's more like a Valentine's month up in this house, it feels like. We getting any questions through the chats?
Oh, man. You know what?
Michael, if you want, you could be the MC sort of. You could be
I'm not.
I don't know how
much.
But I don't know if I'll be able to see the chat on.
If you go to YouTube, you can see it. You know, I need to just go there and then pull the chat out so that it's not double streaming my. That's why I have it turned off.
Hey, Will Terrell just popped into the comments. So he's there. How's it going, Will? I just don't know if it's like real timing it. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's real timing it. I'll leave it up. We'll see if it keeps going.
Sounds good. I'm gonna try to
Will?
have the chat window popped out so I can at least see the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Will, you want to join us?
Did you get your Kickstarter reward in, Jason? Saw that. I think it goes
It's
to your
close.
PO box though.
Yeah.
No. The Adamsville one.
Oh yeah, I got it 2 days ago, I think.
Nice. Did it arrive in safe shape?
It looks great. Yeah, it's in perfect condition.
Great. That
perfect. I was gonna bring it in here to work, but my kid took it and he's been reading it now.
Nice.
He's been waiting for that last one.
Nice. I've actually got 2 school visits on Friday to share the third one. I'm excited to see how that goes.
That's awesome.
Jason, I put Josh's email that he uses in the chat or in our chat.
Okay.
Because he says he hasn't got his invite yet, so I don't know if that's the one you used.
Okay, let me try again.
Will said he got his books in too. Awesome, man.
Sweet.
Hope you guys like it.
Let's see, invite. All right, Josh's is sent. I need to remember Will Terrell's email now. I'm going to invite him. You don't have to jump in, Will, if you don't want to.
He said sure.
Okay.
But I don't want to use
That's easy.
There's a question saying, what size text should be in a comic? Like what font size? And I would answer that with, that's entirely up to you. Just make sure it's big enough to be read.
Especially if they're talking about like webtoons format. Like you got to be able to. I think a good indicator is like, can you read it on a mobile device, like on a phone? Because sometimes people will just take their web comic, which is made for print, and then like just upload it to webtoons. But when you pull it up on a phone, it's almost illegible. So you got to kind of find that happy medium of like this. This is not obnoxiously big, but it can also be still read on a phone.
Yeah, I actually specifically did that before we started putting Adamsville on webtoons. I did a couple runs of it, like through the Discover League. I would just post updates into the Discover League when it was still on there, just to like scan it through the app. And then once I saw it was fine, I just blew it out. I was like, all right, just delete that crap. But at least I could, look at it and see how it was reading on my iPhone and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I just made a note or like a preset in Photoshop that showed, these are the text sizes. And then I would, keep an idea of all that when I was writing it out. Chelly's here too, saying she's paying attention now.
My fonts are always, I don't really know what the answer is at because I make my own fonts and then they're always different sizes than they probably should be.
I think my cat wants out of the room, so I'm going to let him out. Hold on 1 second. I'll just open that up there.
Here.
And then we also got a question that says, how does one get their start in comic making?
Draw comics.
Yeah. I was going to let someone else do it. Hey, I didn't lock my cat in my room. I left my cat in the room because that's where he hangs out with me while I'm working all day. But he comes and goes because he's a cat, so he just does whatever he wants half the day. But I do close the door because I have 3 kids that are home and it gets noisy if I don't close the door. So I'm more mad because I thought he wanted to sit on my lap, and it just turns out he wanted to leave the room.
Hey, Jason, Josh still hasn't got his invite.
Okay, let me do this. I will paste.
Do you want me to give him your phone number?
No, because then it'll just make it
more lines of communication.
Bad airtime. So I'm going to copy the link to join, and I'm going to paste it into that same window in our chat. So if you want to just give him that.
Facebook it to him or something.
I don't know. Because I sent him the invite through. I don't see it. Oh, Doug can't get in either.
All right, I will send it to him.
Okay, hold on, everybody. We're trying to get other people in here, so let's try again.
Doug.
There's Doug.
Oh
no. Now it's going to get crazy.
Then if you end up
Welcome,
getting
Doug.
Will in, plus Josh, it's going to be a party.
Someone's
Turn
calling
camera on. I pushed the button.
Oh, I thought you were holding really still.
Oh, there it is. Look, I'm on.
Nice.
Hey.
Welcome, Doug.
Oh, Michael's there. There he is.
I'm here. How's it going? I was going.
Hey, Doug.
Hi, gang.
Josh is writing me asking what's going on.
This is amazing technology.
Yeah, it is. So, Doug, we have 42 people watching. There's a bunch of people in the comments in Google, too. So, I don't know if you, or in
That's
YouTube.
more people than I've ever had on any of my online stuff.
Me too. I've never really.
This is huge.
So Josh is asking if we're still doing this. I'm like, yeah, right now.
I keep seeing his logo.
I'm trying to send him the link, but everything on my computer is working so slow.
This makes me feel so old watching us all try and hook up to this technology and it doesn't work. It just makes me feel old.
Well, I found that like Google Hangouts tends to be one of the more finicky. Like when it works, it's great. But I've always had like trying to organize things where it just goes off the rails half the time. But once it works, everything's fantastic.
So, Michael, your books came.
Yes. Did they come in good? Did they come in good shape?
Yeah, they look great. My kids are reading them. They're fighting over them already, so you're already causing fights.
Those are the goals, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you backing it.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. It was great. I'm happy.
Actually, you can see my collection of your books right there.
Oh, correct.
There's part of them are down the shelf lower because they didn't fit on the top shelf. So like all your image ones are there, and then your classic ones are there.
Oh, yeah, correct. In fact, I have to finish my image solicitation for a re-release of Gear by tomorrow. I have to send it in, so I have to pretend
nice.
I'm working on that right now.
Is it? You did a color edition of it, right?
Yeah. We're going to tighten up some of the color with my colorist Catherine because she originally worked on that as an assistant. Now she's going in and she's going to kind of do a once-over on it, but just the solicitations are due, I think, Friday to Image.
Nice.
Most of my books are out of print through them, so we're going to try and re-release them all like one per year or two a year.
I would love to get a new edition of Monster Zoo because it's my favorite, and it's like all falling apart.
Yeah, that one will probably be next year. It'll probably be, it's probably late next year. I think we're going to try to do Monster Zoos.
Awesome. That one's
Hey,
awesome.
Doug, are you going to be working on some of your paintings while you're on here?
I can.
You don't have to if you don't want to. I don't know if you have a lot of time. So
I do. I have a little bit of time. I'm just using. My problem is I'm using my computer's camera. So how do I shoot me doing videos of my painting? I'd have to like point the computer down.
Yeah.
I'll get a mirror that'll like refract onto my desktop.
There you go. Do you have an old junky webcam you can plug in maybe?
I have an old junky phone.
Yeah, I don't.
I could also go screen to screen with my Cintiq. I could just like put the screens and draw on my Cintiq.
There you go.
Isn't that terrible? That's how I do everything.
Are you painting traditional?
Oh, Josh joined.
Yeah,
Oh,
I made
hey,
it.
Josh. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
How can you keep people watching when they just are watching us just flounder? Don't they just like run away from the channel?
That's what I would think, but.
And how do you have 15,000 subscribers? I've got I got like 600 subscribers. So tell all your guys to go subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Well, you're telling them right now, so just give them the link.
Oh, hey guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Look at me totally leeching off of Jason. And I hardly put any content out, so there's hardly anything to see. So there.
Hardly any.
Although-
Come on, man.
I've really been liking your content, Doug. Like, it's been exactly what I needed right now. Like, as I'm putting together this pitch for this new book, and I'm sort of thinking through scripts and act structure and all these things, I'm like, this is just good, helpful reminders. And it's I'm reading the Save the Cat books because they're just great at explaining structure in general. But you're coming at it from a different angle that I'm like, okay, that adds an additional layer to it for me. So
I really like Save the Cat. I just think it reads a good book. I wish it wasn't so, or I should say it's good if you have experience, but it's a little esoteric to me for a super beginner at screenwriting. You know what I mean? It's a little esoteric. The explanations of like fun and games time or whatever. It just feels kind of vague. And I really like doing kind of this reduced nuts and bolts. This is why this exists in your story now. And fun and games leaves too much open to interpretation, I guess. Do this.
Or you can interpret it too specifically.
What's that, Steven?
Like, what's that? Yeah, like, I think another problem is you can go to the other end where you leave it too specific, where, like, when your characters are actually going and having fun and games, that doesn't, you're not actually following the formula.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that some people take it literally. Like, I remember watching a movie where they literally went and played games. I was like, okay, that's not exactly how it works.
Campbell's training session, and everyone's literally training. You have in all the Batman, there's a master, a Qui-Gon Jinn, like doing a sword training.
In fact, Will Terrell, who's hanging out in the chat, he's the one who mentioned Save the Cat to me, and read it many times. His other books are pretty good too. The Save the Cat Strikes Back has a good breakdown on final act structure and all that stuff.
Oh, cool. I'll have to pick that one up because I do like, is it Snyder? Blake Snyder?
Yeah. Who unfortunately passed away. So that's a bummer.
Yeah, my buddy Ethan Nicole, who did Axe Cop, went to one of his seminars the day before. He went to the last seminar before he died.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm telling that story. Yeah.
That's spooky.
That's crazy.
Hey, you guys, can you all introduce yourself? Nick's asking everyone's name.
Who do you want to start with?
You. How about you?
Michael Regina. I create Adamsville, or created. On to the next thing now.
He was a featured artist on Webtoons along with Steven.
Yeah, my name's Steve McCranie, and I draw Space Boy on webtoons.com.
And I am Josh Ulrich, and I draw Newman on webtoons.com.
And I'm Doug TenNapel, and I
draw everything.
I draw everything. I have 17 graphic novels, and I made Earthworm Jim is what I'm most famous for there.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, I got some questions in the comments if you guys want to. If you guys want something to answer.
Yeah, sure.
Or if you just want to talk. Let's see. One of them is, if I want to self-publish a book, should I start off as a webcomic or just go straight to publication? Asking because I'm afraid of what people won't buy the book if they keep reading the webcomic. Go. What do you guys think?
Have they made the book yet? Make the book.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much it. I think we've talked the story some on our last one, but like I made the entire the first Adamsville book offline. I didn't publish any pages. I just made the whole thing, and then I sought a publisher. And then when publisher said no, I took it to the web. You don't have to go that way, but to me, it's like the finished product is what really matters, and you can do something with that. You can't do anything with an unfinished product. So,
brilliant answer. Yes. Yep, I always say the only way doors will open up is if you finish something first, and new doors can open up because people have seen it. They won't see anything that's not finished, you know.
And kind of piggybacking off that, because the one person who was asking us, how do you get into making comics? And we said make comics, but I would add an addendum to that, say finish comics.
Yeah, yeah.
Finish comics. That's how.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the idea of making books just because everyone knows that's the big taco. And you can always slam it out as a web comic if you get into trouble with publishing. But it's harder to find, I should just put it this way, it's harder to find a publisher than to make a web comic, because you can make a web comic of anything, right? You don't have to ask anyone's permission. So the unknowable is if you can get a publisher. So that's a bonus if you can get a publisher, because they'll still let you do a web comic, almost always, because they don't eat into each other's markets. People who love a comic will read the web comic, and they will buy the book, and they will keep reading the web comic.
I think a lot of Kickstarter is basically predicated on, right? You build your audience on the internet. I mean, Jason could talk a lot about that, putting his comics on web, and people still buy them. So,
yeah. Well, I think, you know, what you were saying, Doug, I think that until recently, people were afraid that if you did a webcomic, no publisher would ever touch you. But
yeah, I was afraid of that too when I did Rapid.
Yeah.
I was very afraid of that.
Yeah, and you kind of proved it to me that that's not true, I think, is just seeing you do that. And I've seen a lot of other webcomics since then, you know, like they get publishing deals. And in fact, you know, if you have a big following and you have a big online audience, then publishers seem to want that, because it means that it's
do. And every publisher I've talked to, I've said, now I have a web comic of this thing and I'm willing to pull it down if we make a book. They go, no, 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 we'll leave it up. They were never bothered at the idea that it was available for free online. And literally it was the editor, Dave Saylor at Scholastic, that just said they do not have an overlapping, an exclusive market. Like it never hurts.
I would even say, like, without my webcomic, I wouldn't have gotten my publishing deal, because I was able to tell them, hey, I have this many unique visitors and I have this market we could hit just right out of the gate. And so I think that's I think nowadays publishers are looking for creators that already have platforms, and which is unfortunate, but it's also empowering to a certain extent. But it used to be where it was just like, we'll just throw something out into the ecosystem and hope it sticks. But it's changed a lot, because the ecosystem is now this lively, I don't know, responsive thing on the internet where people can share and comment and bring feedback. Well, we killed that question. Bam.
Dead in the submission.
All right.
I get phone calls on it. So I got some random phone call in the middle of y'all's answer, and I'm just like, what? No. Like, I don't want to talk on this. I realize
I like a robot for like 4 seconds there.
Yeah,
like,
wow.
I
keep getting weird lag spikes from you guys.
Well, it might have been related to that phone call that came through me. I don't know.
Someone sounded like a robot just a couple of minutes ago.
It was Michael.
That was awesome. Someone else said, what art programs do you guys recommend for mobile? I use Autodesk, but it really isn't good for comic making.
Mobile, like iPad, or?
I don't know. That's all it says.
I use Procreate and Clip Studio on the iPad.
Same.
How is Clip Studio on the iPad? I should just get it.
Amazing.
Is it? Clip Studio. It's
yeah.
Is it exactly
no
the same?
It is literally Clip Studio, yeah. And like, yeah, I hook up my Bluetooth keyboard and all my shortcuts are there and everything. Like, it is full software.
And the iPad, it has full sensitivity?
Yep.
As long as it's the iPad Pro, you can use that Apple Pen.
Because I have an iPad Pro and an Apple Pen. I tried using Sketchbook on it, and like it came out all blotchy. It was like really bad for pressure sensitivity. And if I knew that worked, I could be drawing on my couch right now.
So yeah. I would say this: yes, it has better pressure sensitivity, but like I had the Cintiq Companion and the iPad. And when I was on my Cintiq Companion, the levels of pressure sensitivity that I have were much higher. So you did have a more true Cintiq type experience.
Okay.
And I found that the pressure sensitivity is pretty good on the iPad Pro, but not quite as sensitive. So I think it takes a little bit more getting used to in that regard. But Josh uses it to ink a lot more, and he seems fine with it. But I definitely felt some differences. But still, bad at all. Just you can notice a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, to me, the only people that liked using the iPad were people that had never drawn using Clip Studio on a Cintiq. So if you've done both, then that tells me something good.
Mm-hmm. I use the pencil tools. Like most of the inking I'm doing right now is using the pencil tool instead of the inking tool, and that's fantastic. Like it looks great. So
well, it won't hurt to try it, right? If I already have an iPad in the pen, I could always just get.
It's free right now, and then it's gonna eventually move to like a $8 a month subscription or something like that.
Oh, holy moly! I better hurry and get it.
Well, what I think they're doing is because I downloaded it too, and it wouldn't let me import any custom brushes unless I signed up for the subscription. But they give you, so it's two things. There's a free version that you will never pay for, but if you want all of the additional bells and whistles, importing unique brushes and textures, that you have to subscribe. But they give you a 6-month trial.
Oh, okay. So that's what I did then.
Yeah. Because it confused the mess out of me. I was like, why can't I import my brushes? I've got all these cool brushes I want to import, and that was why. But yeah, it's definitely worth just trying, Doug. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Can't hurt. It's free now.
Do you have any other questions came through, Jason? You want to get
Oh, Shelly was texting them to me, but
yay!
Now I need to actually
tell her hello. I missed her so.
Oh, I think she's gone by now. Oh, yeah, she's running to get the kids.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day! Go get the kids. You know what I know about Kelly? I'm sure she'll get the children.
Moderate my chat and go get my children, please. Thank you.
Best wife ever.
Best.
Right. Charlie is a lot of fun. I enjoyed getting to meet you guys.
Oh, she's an absolute blast. Is she still making jewelry?
On and off, not very much. Now she teaches pound classes. She's goes crazy. She teaches it for children at the university here, at a local fitness place, and just goes crazy.
What is a pound class?
It's like you have drumsticks and you play music and you do exercises with these drumsticks.
That sounds exciting.
It's kind of like higher energy. She's real good at it. So, and she has rhythm.
That helps.
I'm looking to see if there's any questions that have come up, but I haven't really seen anything new.
Where are you seeing these questions?
If you go onto the YouTube channel, then you can see it in the side.
Live. How many people are watching now? Have they all? I just want to see if they're dropping off.
52, 53.
We have to do stuff that brings ratings up.
All right, Doug.
Make outlandish comment.
Look, I'm inking, there's Blue. I'm inking from Creature Tech.
Nice.
I haven't figured out how to do it on camera.
56. So. Oh, that worked, Doug.
See?
4 more people.
The internet intuited that you were drawing.
Quick, get a cat video up.
It just went down. No, 54, 55.
Quick, someone eat a bug. So, Brubaker, are you starting something new?
Not anything big yet. I'm gonna launch the Kickstarter for Sitzer 4 probably on Monday, on Monday, and then I'm probably gonna try to work on a children's book during that time, and so I can pitch that as well. And I'll probably work on like my cognitive drawing thing as well. So those are all the things I want to work on while I can. And then I'll be actually I'm signing contracts with this online education program too, which I'll announce pretty soon.
Wow.
You're
going to do school. Yeah.
A comic. Yeah, how to make a comic. So that will be a new experience for me.
Yeah, but that's fun. I mean, they'll love what you have to say, right? Break it
I
down.
hope. We'll see.
Are you writing your are you writing your curriculum? Is that
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted it to be like, what's my approach, you know, which is always nice because it's like, okay, I don't have to study everyone else's approach now. I can just say, this is how I suggest doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
It would be really bad if they made you teach like the Jim Davis approach or something
Yeah.
in your class.
Ironically, one of the weird things going on with my day job is they're looking at ways of bringing in graphics and comics into some of the material that I'm producing for them. And I'm having to sort of have the more Jim Davis-y conversation where I'm like, look, if it's going to be something that's sort of official and recreatable, we need to sort of make it simple
Yeah.
and not super artistic per se.
Yeah.
A little more polish on it. But so it's kind of taken me a while to figure out how to make that work.
Go ask Jim.
What was that? The internet went crazy.
Is it just me, or are you guys hearing it too? Because I'm like, it's probably my terrible internet connection.
It's doing it intermittently for me.
Yeah, every now and then someone sounds like a robot.
I just realized it was
And
muted.
Michael, what are you working on? You said you were starting on something new. What's your new? Is that a new comic idea? Or?
Yeah, I'm working on a new book pitch. It'll be another all ages graphic novel, staying in the kind of horror suspense genre. This one's going to focus on a step family that's being hunted by strange interdimensional beings. So
Okay.
should be fun. But yeah, I'm still putting together the pitch document and all that sort of stuff, so we can go look for an agent and see if we can get a publisher. We'll see what happens. It's weird to be back doing that again, because the last time I really did that was 6 years ago. So I just made Adamsville regardless last time. So we'll see what happens.
And how much of Adamsville has actually informed, your going out? Did you feel like, what do you not want to repeat, I should say, that you did before? What are you evolving about your strategy to roll out a new book?
I think my biggest desire now would be that I really want an actual publisher. I don't want to self-publish again if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for it because it's allowed me to get out there, but I think I don't know if I'm changing too much really, other than just kind of taking what I did last time, maybe not finishing the whole book this time, but actually just doing more of a straightforward pitch that has like 30 pages of preview and some script and stuff like that. But with Adamsville 1, I felt like I kind of needed to prove that I could actually make a book.
Yeah, no doubt. And you did.
Anyway.
So now you have that to say, look, throw down 3 volumes to prove I'm good for it.
Right. And I think that's going to be the bigger difference, is now it's going to be more of a sort of pitch and then move on to maybe the next pitch. And then if none of those sort of pan out, then just take one and go make it type thing. But the pitching process just seems like it takes so long. That's my biggest concern, is it'll be the end of the year and I'm still not any further to knowing if there's a deal or not. So
yeah.
That's my problem with trying to find an agent and pitching. It's just like I just don't have a clue what's going to happen for years. Yeah. It seems like, but I know it's something I need to step into eventually. But
yeah,
you don't have an agent.
Yeah.
Say what?
You don't have an agent yet, Jason?
No, I don't.
Oh, that really surprised me. I thought you already had.
I mean, I have like a guy who represents like foreign rights, so like if a publisher wants to publish Remind in another country, then he can handle those contracts. But not much has come out of that. I sold the rights to Remind for the German version on my own, and then I ended up getting that agent, but nothing's happened since I've gotten the agent,
Wow.
I'd be interested in your thoughts on this, Doug, because I know you work a lot with the traditional publishers. What are you kind of seeing going on with the graphic novel industry with like Scholastic and Abrams it feels like, 6-7 years ago, there was this sort of like boon of kids graphic novels, and it sort of feels like that's simmered out a little bit.
And it really is still big. It's still their top growing industry. So I don't know what did simmer down that you're seeing, but it's still all upside to the publishers, just because the combination of words and graphics are just now picking up. They feel like they're on the front end of it. So they may not. It may be a lot more expensive to print, and they may be feeling some of that, but really they can't publish good work fast enough.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's sometimes that's what I hate about submitting and stuff is I hardly ever wait to submit. I just start making books and hope I find a publisher, because I don't want to wait on their permission to find out if I'm going to read a book, because a lot of times it takes them forever just to get back. I mean, they're so slow.
Yeah.
And that's whether if I'm talking to Scholastic or Image. Anytime there's interaction with a hundreds of stage and ask them if like doing he's emailing me right now to hear now. And I just find they kind of want me to just go away and make a book. Like they don't want me to be a burden, but they fully intend to publish whatever book is going to be coming. And I think that's more where I feel like I try to keep my head in that place. Is my job is to be a storyteller, and that means I want to get my head in the place of telling the story instead of being, say, a story salesman or a self-publisher where I'm distributing my own books or keeping the stock in my garage. I know that's a lot of what guys do, to make more money or whatever, to squeeze a little more margin out, as if you handle your own publishing and things. I just don't want my head in that space.
Right.
It's something I never understood. Or I think when Jeff Smith got so big with Bone and he had to kind of offload a lot of that off of Image, it always baffled me that he continued to have his own stock and like set up his own Comic-Con booths and put on that big show. And I was so relieved to have the book, all that side of it taken off of me. Yeah. I just want to sit in my studio and make books and have someone else handle everything else about the business. And it's probably why I'm such a bad salesman and why my books may not sell as much as they should, I'm really just trying to stick to making the book. But to answer your question, I think the publishing industry is still going strong. I think everyone is full steam ahead. If they see a great story come across their desk, I think they want to publish it.
Cool. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm still I'm feeling what you're saying, because there's a lot of it's like building this pitch, and it's like I know as soon as it goes to an agent, then it goes through a round of whatever feedback they have. Then it goes to, okay, well, we're done through that. Now we're going to pitch. And then it might be 6-7 months down the line before I know anything. And I'm like, well, do I just keep working on this book regardless of them? Do I just go make it and start talking to them when I have it further along the line? And it's so much easier just to go make it, because it's going to get done one way or the other,
I definitely think you should I always say make the book. Make the book, make the book, make the book. Because we're always looking for an excuse to not make the book. And as soon as it's like, well, I'm waiting for an agent, now I have an excuse, and that book has a very big chance of not ever getting made.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just, Jason and I we finished our books on the same day last week. I think it was last Wednesday or whatever. I just finished lettering mine and I printed it at FedEx today. I had I take the PDF in, I have a one printout, 210 pages. I have them spiral bounded. And I have all 4 of my kids read it, and I let them tear it apart because I want them to tell me what's wrong with it now before they read it when it's published.
Right.
And I don't have any deal on that book. I have a bit of a verbal from Scholastic saying, yeah, we're interested. But I'm making that book whether someone wants to make it or not.
How do you feel like you then, how much, I think what my concern ends up becoming, because I've just never experienced it before, is like sort of what the editorial feedback and forth starts to become. Like, for instance, like Adamsville, I had an agent that was interested in it when I went to ALA a couple years ago, but then a lot of the feedback was sort of like, well, hey, Stranger Things came out, and some of these things look like they might be kind of like Stranger Things, and I might want to change some of those things. And I'm like, am I really going to go back and redraw stuff that's been out for a year now? Like,
no, you're not.
Yeah, I'm like, do you actually say that? You're like, no, I'm leaving that. Like, if we want to add content, we'll add it. But...
and that's why you want to develop a relationship with your editor, because there are things they'll push for that are correct, and you have to really feel them out and have a good enough relationship with them, where if you go back to them and say, I really think that's a bad idea, that they would say, okay, I'm with you. And Scholastic a lot of times has allowed me to do things that they did not agree with. And they were right about almost all of them, by the way, in hindsight. But it was very cool to me that they were always like, it's about the author in the end.
Yeah.
So they stood with me on it, even when they knew I was wrong. And later I learned I was wrong. And now I'm like way less into second guessing them because of that. You know, they've earned that. But I think that's a stupid reason to change anything, because it's like Stranger Things. Because Stranger Things is like everything.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Well,
it's like everything people love. So, okay, let's not do everything that people love.
Yeah. And I was like, look, man, my book came out like a year before that thing even happened. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
We were just all vibing on the same things. That's all. You know, we were all feeling the same idea of kids facing monsters. And like, yeah, exactly. It just felt like I'm totally on board with saying, yeah, there's some similarities. But that's kind of what Stranger Things was taking a lot of things and just kind of amping it up and doing it.
It's proof that you had your finger on the pulse of what everyone probably wanted.
Right.
And that's actually a good sign, I think.
I hope so.
I'd
still like to find something.
Just to interrupt, Will Terrell just joined, so everyone say hi to Will. Hi, Will.
Hey, everyone.
What's up, bro?
You'll get to replace my spot here in a minute, Will. I got to go cook dinner in like 10 minutes.
Make that Valentine's dinner.
Yeah, family pork chops for dinner, it sounds like.
Sounds good.
Very romantic.
Ooh, yeah. And then maybe watching The Wonder. I keep hearing Wonder's really good, so I think we might watch that with the kids.
No idea what that is.
It's a feel-good family movie.
Based on a graphic, or based on a novel, and it was a young novel.
Yeah. How have you been, Will?
I've been excellent. Been really well. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Just at work right now, drawing prop designs.
Nice.
Dang, I didn't know you were able to stream while you were working. That's nice.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, you'll get the HR call.
I think as long as I'm not sharing what I'm drawing.
Actually, almost got in trouble with that, Jason, watching you live stream. When I used to pop into your live streams in the middle of work, they were like, yeah, we don't really like y'all watching live YouTube videos on the things and typing.
What?
Not Will, Jason. Did I say Will? I'm sorry.
No, you said Jason, but
yeah, I would tune into Jason's live streams during the day, and you know how it has the YouTube live chat feed, and I would occasionally just start chatting in there. And my job was they didn't say anything specifically about that, but I was watching, I think the presidential inauguration through YouTube Live or whatever, and they were getting upset about watching live video through YouTube. We had to go through different things. But then I realized I was probably going to get in trouble for having conversations on live feeds. So I should maybe stop that. But nothing ever really big came of it. So no big deal.
It's been an interesting conversation so far. I'm getting a lot out of it. Talking about the making comics and working with the publishers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug. What things were you trying to suggest that the publishers like Scholastic were against that you found out later were not? What was it? More things like I don't know, some kind of new trend that
No,
you were trying to do?
It covered the gamut on my work. Covered the gamut. So,
Just curious. I don't know if you can remember anything.
like one of them was in Newts. I had this huge, like, kind of whiplash, a Twilight Zone moment that just kind of, it almost broke the story. It was so odd. But it had been there from the very first script, you know, from like 6 years before. And so Newts is this fairy tale in Newtland, in this, you know, in this, and it implies that it's on the other side of the galaxy, because they worship this god Orion, right? And it's the star is Orion, the hunter up in the sky. But it's X-flipped because they're on the other side of Orion from us. If you ever look at my book, it's X-flipped. And spoiler, but in the third book, this devil character goes up and kills Orion, the star. You know, he's part up there. Their stars are all alive. They take on their classic forms, right? And Orion dies and falls out of the sky, and his stars are like scratching down the page. And then suddenly so this is the thing that I had written. It cut to Earth, and there's a station like kind of Houston, you know, looking up at the stars, and they're like, holy shit, the stars, Orion is falling out of the sky. It's from Earth's point of view, and they're humans, and the actual constellation Orion is falling out of the sky. And Scholastic just thought it really broke the fairy tale to go from Newts to going to Earth, you know, with humans talking, you know, in it.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, you can do it, but we're really suggesting you don't do it. And it took me so long to come around, because I felt so strong about that moment that I'm telling the reader, like, no, this is real, you know? And I still don't know if it was the right thing to do to not do that moment, because I'm so in love with that moment. But
You didn't do it, or
I did not do it. I did not. Orion falls out of the sky, and it remains in that new world, because their claim was it broke the fairy tale. And they knew what language to use with me too, because I'm all about just maintaining the strict atmosphere of a fairy tale, and I didn't want to rip people out of it. So
yeah,
I love the moment for literary reasons and for artistic reasons, but that was one where I went with the publisher, and you know, I don't feel bad about it or anything, but that was a big thing for me.
Interesting.
That's an example.
Yeah, thanks.
It's interesting. That would have been pretty cool, though, actually. But I love those sort of moments where you're just like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, it was supposed to be that, like, a real double take of it's real. You know?
Doug, I have a ton of your work, but I didn't keep up with the Newt series. So I went recently and checked out a preview of the first one. Just read the first couple pages. And that wacky lizard creature where he scratches its chin, and his face opens up, and there's like a soft kitten-like creature inside that steps out and goes, "Thank you. That was really nice." I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I don't know. It was so weird. I was like, oh, this is only Doug could have thunk up, because I don't even know how you would. I don't know. That was really, that was weird. That was the weirdest thing.
Thanks, Will. I appreciate it. That's a huge compliment. You know, the whole Newt story is based on the first time I ever saw an amphibian when I was 4 years old. I swore, like, this is the weirdest thing. Like, they were half formed in the puddle. You know, there were some frog tadpoles and newt tadpoles. It was on the California-Oregon border. And I just experienced a joy. And the way that I compartmentalized it, the way that I responded to it was, I know there's a God. Like, something made this.
An annihilation moment.
Yeah. And I love him. So So then when I wrote the book, this Newt's book, it's about amphibians, right? But I said, all I want to try to do is make readers feel the way I did when I was 4. Like, but you can't do that by showing them a story about newts and frogs because they've all heard of newts and frogs. I want you to feel it like you're 4 years old, you've never heard of them before, and this is the first time you've seen them. So what's that like? Well, that's like you rub a little monster's head and his face splits open and a little tongue comes out. And he says, thank you. So that feeling that you got, I made you feel the way I did when I was 4. That was the whole goal of that book. And you'll see all throughout that book, probably at least 3 per book, I put in 3 moments in each that were those kinds of really bizarre moments that are made to make you sit back and look at the animal and go, what is going on with this thing? There's a couple of those. I stuck them, throughout the book.
That's cool.
Everyone, I hate to leave, but I got to go help get dinner ready.
Make pork chops.
Yeah, man.
All right, Michael, and congrats on finishing Adamsville. It's amazing, man. I just got my books in last night.
Yeah, I was just telling them too. I got mine, and my kids love them. It's a fantastic series.
Oh, nice.
Thank you guys so much.
I love it.
Means a lot from both of you guys. I'm gonna go.
All right. See you next time. See you next time, Michael.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Let's do it again soon.
Yep. See you, buddy.
Bye.
I just finished. Here's in honor of newts. There's a newt.
Nice.
I'm inking these for my Kickstarter. There's blue. Now I'm doing the Ronnie Cordova from Sock Baby. There's the pencil.
Where are you at now, Doug?
I'm in Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
South of Nashville.
I was talking to Brian. I forgot his last name, but he said he worked with you on VeggieTales.
Oh, Brian Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
DreamWorks.
Yeah, he's over here at Warner Brothers now.
Wait, Brian Roberts is at Warner Brothers?
Wait, let me double check. Let me look
No, Brian Jones. You're talking about Black Brian, not over.
Yes. Yeah, that's him.
Okay, I love Brian. I love both Brians, but Brian Jones, yeah, okay. At Warner Brothers, there you go. Brian Roberts was at DreamWorks.
Yeah, Brian's over here now. I guess he's doing development or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about what you're working on over there? What are you working on?
I'm working on Wizard of Oz, the animated series.
Oh, no kidding. Cool.
Yeah. We're on season 3 now.
Yeah, I've seen images from it. I haven't seen an actual episode, but that's cool.
Be fun. I miss working in comics, though. It's nice having a steady paycheck, but
yeah, TV production, man, it's a freaking slog.
It caught me off guard. I didn't realize how much of a slog it was.
How many episodes are you guys working on for this season?
Season 1 was 50. Season 2 was 50, and now this one's gonna be like a half season, and they're like 10-minute episodes.
Yeah. You roll them out as two. Is it 2 22s that you're doing then?
Yeah. Oh, no, it's two 10 minutes per episode.
2 10s per episode. Man, that is a lot of production, man. I just got off VeggieTales for 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
And we did, we did it 1 minute a week.
Whoa.
For 3 years with no break. So we were launching in 11 and finishing in 11 every, so we'd launch one. There were 36 in production at a time. And it just aged me, man. I literally went nuts in the second season. Like I just ask Jones, like I started just falling apart.
Were you still doing comics at that time?
I was doing nits. Yeah, I would do a page a day. I'd pencil in the morning and ink at night.
That is absolutely amazing.
Page a day.
I'm having trouble.
That was to make me sane. That was.
That's funny.
TV, but you're right about the paycheck. I mean, it is nice to get paid and have rent paid for a season.
Yeah.
So I get that too. Good job on that.
Yeah. I was ready to start a family, and the comics. I'd been doing comics for about 15 years, like freelancing mostly.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to start a family on that kind of paycheck.
No, you don't. So tell Brubaker that.
Yeah. Yeah, We bonded over that.
I'll tell you though, Doug, I wouldn't go back if.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Hey, you can go back, and you're not. So
you can. And I did like dip my toe back into the freelance idea, like doing some commercial work, mainly because it's really short.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot of money real quick. But
yeah,
I solved that problem by being miserable and lonely.
yeah.
Bills are paid.
It's funny.
No mouths to feed. How about that?
Just a cat.
And that cat has a very small mouth. Not allowed to feed.
He reminds you every day, though, that he needs to be fed, I bet.
He does that.
So, Steven, how do you like married life?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to rub it in too much on Josh. It's cool.
He's crying.
What's that sobbing?
I mean,
sound?
Josh and Michael, they flew in and we're best men, so or we're groomsmen.
That's so awesome.
I hear the
great.
sound of tying a rope as he's stepping up on the
Yeah. But,
And your first Valentine's Day.
yeah,
Right?
I we were talking like it's no big deal because I think when you're single, you're just like, oh yeah, Valentine's is the worst, and so that's what we were saying all week. And then I got her a dozen roses this morning, and she was like, "Oh, you gotta sneak in. You gotta sneak in when they're not looking."
Never fall for the Valentine's
what they
Day
don't.
doesn't matter trap. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got Angie.
I
I got them at Publix and they still count. I got them at a grocery store and the flowers still count.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I got mine at Smith's. I guess they have different ones.
Oh,
You guys have
you
Smith's?
know.
I got mine from the neighbor's house. Hope they don't mind. It's a desperate situation.
Yeah. I get furious though. This is the thing, guys. Never let your wife, we need to have like a contract agreement between us and our wives from now on. Because my wife, she'll buy herself like 3 boxes of C's candy and say like, I got myself a Valentine's Day gift. And I like yelled, that is so mean because candy is like the easiest thing a husband can buy for you. You just took it off the list. I got to actually go shopping.
Now, there's no rule you can't buy her more candy.
Yeah, but she got 3 boxes. Like, who gets 3 boxes of candy? She went nuts.
Well, just throw them out and tell her that the kids ate them, and then buy her more.
Or buy 3 more boxes and slowly replace them as she eats them.
Or just
it's the never-ending box.
or just when she's gone, just take all the candies, unwrap them, and lay them all over you, and just act like you ate them all passed out on the floor.
Yeah, I ate myself to death. And guys, Steven, I'm going to tell you now. Just never buy her clothing. She'll never ever wear what you buy her. Clothing. I've tried 100 times, and it's the wrong size, the wrong style, or just whatever, and no good will come of it.
It's up there with like buying her like an apron or a vacuum cleaner or something for Valentine's.
She'll use an apron. She wears that beautiful shirt you're thinking about giving her. I'm just saying, that blouse. Never. The rules: they can't take candy off the list and never buy them clothing. Instant return. You're just asking them to do work if you give them clothing. There's no take.
Got it. Duly noted.
Yep.
I think the only piece of clothing I've ever bought for any female person in my entire life was for my sister for Christmas because she handed it to me and said, "I want this," so I bought it. Otherwise, I don't attempt.
This year, actually, Crystal did the same thing. My wife did the same thing, and we were just at a store. She's like, "I want this for Christmas," and then I think I might have done the similar thing. And then Christmas started coming up, and we both felt really sad because I hadn't got to actually pick her out a present.
Yeah, it's a rip-off.
We just like, okay, we're gonna take 2 hours, and we'll both go find, like, we're gonna just split up, and we'll both go find a present for each other that we can actually wrap and hide and put under the tree and have a surprise. But yeah, so she got double presents in the end, I guess, which is kind of cool. But
it's like a gift of the magi. Well, and being married to an artist is easy. How they just get to go and buy like the nicest fancy sketchbook they can find, and I'm always happy. I've got like 800 of them, and I never turn them down, and I never feel bad about them.
Nice.
So it's my wife's really hard to find me a great gift.
My wife's a cartoonist too, so I just buy her new pens, and she's super happy.
Yeah. So easy.
Were there any questions in the?
Well, I guess we're giving marriage advice now, so we moved on.
Yeah. I'll full on. I really do need to run like a marriage seminar because I can get these guys all squared away. I need to do like a couples thing where I find people who like the unmarriables, and I'll set them up. I'm a matchmaker. Okay, Brubaker, how many Kickstarter, like original works of art, do you do?
For a Kickstarter campaign?
Yeah.
I try to get it down to like none.
Oh, wow.
It's hard for me to do Kickstarter like paintings and stuff for whatever reason. I never do it while the Kickstarter's live.
Yeah.
I should, but then once it's wrapped up and I'm thinking about actually trying to get the book done or delivered or something, like that stuff always ends up being the last thing I think about it, and then like a year later I'm like, I gotta do those paintings still. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
And that's happened every time, and so I've just kind of checked that off my list.
That's the only way I can raise money is if I do original artwork on my Kickstarter.
Really?
All my money comes from doing originals. Yeah.
I think Steven had a great idea with his Kickstarters where he was doing digital downloads. Like, yeah. you could probably do that, Doug, where you like just do a scan of your sketchbook or something. And
yeah, I've got that. I've got one of my tiers. The smallest $12 tier is to do a scan of every watercolor I'm doing for my thing.
What Kickstarter are you doing right now, Doug?
PDF. What
Kickstarter are you doing right now, Doug?
I'm doing 100 watercolors for the Make 100 thing. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's Kickstarter to make where you make 100 of some object for some reason.
Okay.
And let's see what I'm at. I gotta check it every 5 minutes. 18,000. I asked for 3,000, and I've got 18,000.
Jeez.
Nice.
Wait, how many watercolors is that?
It's well, I've got 217 backers and 14 days to go. So it's gonna be. It's going to probably be about 300 watercolors. And so like this is here's a Ronnie Cordova from Sock Baby. This is an ink. I'm going to do a watercolor on top of it. But as I'm doing them, I'm putting way too much detail on them. And I'm going, oh crap, if a whole bunch of people buy this, I'm going to be burned having to do 8 of these.
Here, Doug,
I need to make them simpler. Then less people will buy them.
This is Doug's Kickstarter right now. 18,000.
Oh, look at that.
217 backers.
Nice.
But see, look at this. Look at all these paintings. These are all paintings that he's going to have to do.
Yeah.
You are
but they're all the size though. They're all 2.5 by 3.5 inches.
I do not love drawing enough to do that.
You're gonna level up with your painting after.
Confessions he hates. Well, I'm going to do them all in probably I don't know how long it'll take me, but I'll sit down and it'll be a full-time gig. Like I'll do them for 10 hours a day, and I'll be able to knock out, I think like 50 a day, probably 50 a day.
But you're choosing what you draw. They just buy
exactly
one
of them. Okay. There's going to only be 20 selections. Most of them are from Jim and Clayman, which I've done a million. I can do them in my sleep, you know.
Yeah, for my Kickstarter, I did do like a couple hundred drawn-in books where I designed I drew an elephant in those books, and so by the end it was almost like calligraphy or like like a Chinese kanji character where you do all the strokes right, and then like it looks like an elephant, but I'm not drawing at that point. I'm just like, it's like signing a name or a signature. It's not even really, there's nothing artistic about it.
Yeah, it's like if you say the word elephant a million times, it stops losing its meaning. So if you draw it enough times, you're just, and that's what's weird. Like I'm gonna have to draw like 80 earthworm gems. There's no way you can craft a passionate little wonderful earthworm gem every time for 80 people. But my default in my brain, because I've drawn them with, like I taught myself how to draw him with energy. So even if I don't think about it, it looks like a super gestural sketch on model. When really it's a slog. It's a total turn my brain off, and it's like a slog. It's like doing a chore. So these are here. These are all the blank. I had to cut all these. I bought a paper cutter at Hobby Lobby. So these are all the little paintings I have to do so far.
Oh man. Oh.
Just a couple stacks.
Just a quick stack.
Watercolors.
Here's a question here. How do you write a 4-act structured story? Anyone? Doug, you would probably know that answer. Yeah.
I only know 3-act. 4-act is like Shakespeare, like plays. Is 4-act or 2 for TV. Often 4-acts used to have commercial breaks between each every 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I would just run the 2nd and 3rd act together and treat it like a 2nd act.
I would cut it down and make it a 3-act. That'd be my solution.
How to write a 4-act? Write a 3-act plus 1.
Yeah. It's the X act.
It's simple math.
The epilogue.
Something that helped me a little bit is I would define an act as bringing a character to a point where they have to make a world-changing decision that impacts them in a permanent way or impacts someone in a permanent way. And so in that case, like a story can have as many acts as you want, but I would just go by that rule of thumb that they kind of come to.
This goes into a little bit of that Save the Cat stuff, which I'm not huge on Save the Cat, but Save the Cat and Dan Harmon and Sid Field, they really emphasize the twist in the middle. The middle twist is when you segment the 2nd act in half. So there's a 3-act structure, and the 2nd act usually has a twist, which represents the first half of the story goes into a descent, and then the character usually finds what they want, but it's a false find of some kind, and they go into an ascent, like going out of hell, from that middle twist out. So that would be probably a good representation of a 4-act structure. It's really 3 acts. The 2nd act is split in half with a twist that really ends up changing the 2nd act so much at the halfway point that it might as well be another act. Mm-hmm. If I had to guess. Hey guys, I gotta jump.
Sounds good.
I love you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Great having me on. It's been a blast. It's been good.
We'll hit you up again.
Got a bunch of Kickstarter stuff done, so you guys are awesome.
What time's good for you, Doug? In the
all day, all night, because I'm unemployed and just doing dumb comics and coming up with ideas. So anytime, just like you did today, just text me, and if I get it, I'll try. If I don't, then you'll live without me.
Doug's a man of leisure.
I'm just a employed man of leisure.
He makes his own schedule.
Yeah, I make my own, and I make my own budget based on. I'm going to buy fantasy gold, which what Bitcoin is. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Doug. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye, Doug.
And now it's totally quiet.
All right. Well, now it's up to Will Terrell because the two other talkiest persons just left. So Will has to carry us now.
I'm gonna see if I can screen share without breaking the chat. I feel like
Uh-oh. Now we're on Cybertron.
if everyone turns into robots, I'll stop.
Chat's all full of cyborgs.
So what are you working on, Jason? I don't know if you said.
Oh, this is just the kind of conclusion of Citra stuff still. I have about 2 more weeks worth of content to post on Webtoons, and they'll be done.
All right.
Yeah.
Golly.
Getting there fast.
Are you excited or nervous?
I'm excited that it's going to be done, but then also nervous because, it means changing up everything about how I make money.
Right.
But I got a bunch of, some things in place, like I'm going to start teaching at, I forget what it's called.
That might be a problem.
What is it?
Is it
Inspired?
What was it called? Is it Udemy or Udicate or something?
No, it's not one of the sites where you get a subscription and then you can watch all the courses. It's one of those sites where you you pay like $600 or $800 for a course, kind of like a college, and then it's on online. I guess I don't know about that company. Oh, so it's CGMA.
Oh, okay.
Master. So
yeah,
they approached me a couple weeks ago and were like, "We want to do a comics course."
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So
they're legitimate.
I wasn't thinking I would do it, but after we talked, I was like, okay, wow, you guys could make this worth it for me. So, and they wanted my approach and my style, and like what they pitched the class being about was something I was real interested in, which is more my approach to writing stories. So I started putting together an outline just to see if they'd be interested, and they're like, yes, that's exactly what we want.
That's awesome.
So
you can probably take that on the road too if you want to. You could set up workshops pretty much around the globe. I think they do something like that where they'll arrange road shows or something.
I know that we talked a little bit today about just like even like a mentorship type side of it. But the thing that I like about it is it'd only be like 5 or 6 hours a week, and it pays not all of my bills, but it pays enough to where I could probably make the rest of my bills from other things like Patreon and Gumroad and stuff like that. And so it frees up the stress of making that money quite a bit, just doing that for 5 hours a week. And so I could see it working out to where I could be able to work on pitches and not have to worry about like locking in the money from a pitch and launching it with it being 100% successful,
Nice.
And so that's nice because it's eliminating that stress, Because for the longest time I was like, I got to figure out the next thing to do, figure out where to pitch it so I can start getting the money from it. It's like there's no telling if the next thing will work right away or not. Not to mention, I kind of wanted to take a break from starting another long, big project this year. Instead of just jumping from one straight into another, I wanted to, I've realized I want to just take more of this year to do small projects, like all the random things I wanted to finish and small projects I wanted to try. And then next year I'll launch the new big one. So at least that's what I'm thinking.
There's something to be said for like letting an idea mature.
Yes.
Over time, you know, especially if you're going to do something big.
Yeah.
Like, because like people ask me where I got the idea for Spaceboy from, but it was really like 6 years of just like, hey, that's a cool concept. And then I was like, you know, a year later, I'd be like, well, what if I approach it from this side? And then just like, oh, well, what if there, and you kind of get to go levels and levels deeper.
Yeah.
So like if you have a concept right now, if you have a year to just let it like stew, I think that's really healthy for a story, you know, especially if it's going to be a big one.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. And I mean, even with Citra, you know, I came up with new things as I was writing it. And, you know, I wrote it before I started Remind Us, the graphic novel, and then sat on it. You know, I mean, that's good. I'm not going to be able to sit on the new project that long, but I was able to come back at it and like throw new ideas when I started working on it finally for the first time. But then even wrapping it up, like the scenes towards the end, there's so much new stuff that I've infused into there that I don't think the story would be even good at all if it was just based on my original script anymore. Huh. You know?
Yeah.
So I really do. I like the idea of being able to have time to think about stories. And
did you guys see Jason or Jake Parker's video he put up today?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, last night. Yeah.
It's really good.
All those pages. Yeah.
That's funny. We were talking about him, Jason. You and I. We were talking about him in our video, the little interview.
Yeah.
About him. Oh, he's got it all figured out, and then he finally finishes Skyheart. And it's like, oh, I guess he's just like us. He's got nothing figured out. He's just doing it by the seat of the pants, like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I backed it. I think I did. I think I backed everything he's done, but it was so long ago I don't remember now. I should.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting a book. I don't remember how it works.
Right.
It's been so long.
He's posted a few times about if you want to get the book, you can get on my site. I'm like, I thought I was getting the book. I started it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to pay for it again. I don't know. Totally worth it. Yeah. I don't remember you developing Space Boy, Steven. Like it just seemed to come out of nowhere, but maybe it's because I dropped off for a little while. And
what did you say? What was the question?
I don't remember you developing Space Boy. Last time
what did you say?
Space Boy. I don't remember you developing it. It seemed to just come out of nowhere.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's weird because like your audio drops out, and so all I hear is Space Boy. So you're like brr, 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 Space Boy. Brr, Space Boy. Space
That's
Boy.
exactly what I said.
Oh, okay.
Is that better?
Yeah. Space Boy.
You essentially said you don't remember me developing it. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
I mean, it did to a certain extent. In that, I think that's the mystery of creation is that, like, even if you plan something really extensively beforehand, then in the moment of creation, just there are so many factors that you have to adapt and like improvise and create new things because it's just so complicated. It's just like life where you make a plan for your week and then stuff happens and inevitably you have to be creative and like create some new angle on it.
Well, I remember you were talking about you were working on a pirate story, and I remember us we were all talking about the pitch together.
I forgot about that. But then that was replaced by the going to wasn't that replaced by the school adventure, which was super cool. Not the Space Boy one, but the mystery school or whatever.
Yeah, and then suddenly I dropped off and moved to California, and I guess I lost touch for 6 months. And then suddenly you're doing Space Boy, and I was like, wait, what? Where did this come from?
Yeah, I think it was just because of the contest.
That's right.
It was like I saw an opportunity, and I was like, I dropped everything, and I just spent the next 2 months cranking out as much as I could to try to
Thank God you did, Steven.
That's so amazing.
And I was like,
it's the reason that I have a career.
Great.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
No, don't regret it. That's for sure.
I remember we like had lunch or something. Like I drove through Albuquerque and we had lunch, and there's no talk about Space Boy. I think I don't remember. It's kind of blurred now.
I mean, it's definitely something I wanted to do, but it felt like such a big story that I wouldn't be able to fit it in one book or something like that.
Huh.
But then this came along and I was like, okay, I need this story now.
Huh.
So,
that's awesome.
I think too with the pirate story, I specifically remember that one. I was in a place of fear, and I was like, if I don't have a good pitchable something, it's gonna end. It's gonna end poorly for me. I need to get something that a publisher is interested in. So I kind of formulaically like chop that one together. After that, I made a better idea what Josh is talking about. I had this idea for a kids in the school newspaper.
That's what it was. It was a newspaper. That's right.
Yeah. I'm still kind of excited about that one. I just don't know though. I feel like that idea is losing relevancy fast. Like I feel like kids are like, "What's a newspaper?"
What's a newspaper?
Yeah. But it was about well, I might leave it in the vault.
Well, I'm glad it worked out.
It did. Me too. And I still don't know the end of the story. There's a certain uncertainty in every art career that's mentally hard to deal with. And I don't know. I still don't consider my job secure, really.
I don't either, even though I'm working in animation.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think about it.
Well, you've just got a tiny little kitten mouth to feed. Sorry, I don't mean to mock the kitten mouth.
I mean, I'm also feeding an outside cat right now, so that's two tiny kitten mouths. So.
They're very demanding.
They are.
I think
Stephen,
they require the most delicate nibbles.
Stephen, we got a question about Space Boy. How'd you come up with Space Boy?
Oh yeah, like I said, it was like it kind of evolved, but kind of the seed for the idea started with this movie this Japanese movie I watched. There's about a young kid who's a hikikomori, which is kind of, it translates to like a shut-in or someone who's inside. And there's this phenomenon, it's mostly in Japan, where you'll have these people who withdraw from society entirely and only stay in their rooms and interact with the outside world through technology.
Like we're doing right now.
So it's kind of about that, right? Yeah, never have to talk with anybody. Cartoonist. Anyway, so I thought that was really cool. Well, not cool, but like it was an interesting way they explored the idea, and then so I held on to that. But then and then it grew from there. It's actually really hard to explain, and there's like all kinds of spoilers for Space Boy that I don't want to give away that kind of are involved in how the story was made.
Yeah. When people ask me about how I came up with a certain idea, there's no way to answer, because the truth of it is it's like so many different things from years and years, even childhood, you're pulling in little elements.
Yeah.
So
it's always just like, I think about stuff and then I make things.
See, that's why you just make up an elevator pitch. You're like, well, it actually happened to me when I was a child, and I was actually abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
You just make something up and make up a different story every time somebody asks you.
You tell people how you make
idea.
Right. I used to have this friend that I worked with at SeaWorld doing caricatures, and he was missing his finger. And every time somebody would ask him how he lost his finger, he would tell a different story. It was like the first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh wow, that's crazy!" And then I'm just listening to tell the story to a customer, And then the next day, somebody else asked him, and it was a completely different story. And I was like, wait a minute. There's some incongruity here. And that's just how he like played. He'd like making up a different story every time somebody asked. I lost it on a playground equipment when I was 3 years old. I lost it when I was training a shark.
I remember there was a kid that I knew from school, from elementary school. One day, like, I came over to him and he had shoved his entire pinky up his nose, and I was like, "What? How did you do that?" And he pulled his hand away, and he didn't have a pinky. And I had no idea that he didn't have a pinky. I was like, "What? Where's your pinky?" It was such a mind blow for me. I was like, "This is so crazy." And like,
oh my God.
And then I moved away for a couple years, and he was a really, like, I came back in high school, and he had been a really chubby kid in elementary school, but all the fat had kind of boiled off in middle school, and he was a super buff, attractive, kid now. And I could only recognize him by the fact that he didn't have a pinky. I was just like, I was like, "Oh, it's you. I know you."
Hey, Nub. How you doing, Nubby?
That's awesome. All right, change the subject. There's a question for Will.
About. Oh, that's how you came up with the idea for Space Boy.
Yeah. Hey, Will, someone asked, Cooler Man asked, how hard is it to get into TV animation?
Oh, my goodness. It's kind of a complicated answer. To break in is pretty difficult. But once you're in, it's fairly easy to keep getting work. Right? You know what I'm saying?
That answer was like, how hard is it to get in? Well, once you get in, then it's really
it's really hard.
I'm just being honest. Like it's really difficult to get to that certain level, and once you're in, everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, that person's good enough. We'll keep hiring him."
Yeah, because it's the connections. Once you've had people have worked with you, they share your name with other people and stuff. I found the same thing with my career and getting into DreamWorks. When I was in the movie stuff, people would ask me, and in talking to so many people there, I realized no one's gotten into this the same way. Everyone kind of has a different approach.
Yeah,
my approach is completely obscure, but so is some other person's approach.
And they go and hide the hole that you crawled through to get in.
Yeah,
they cover it up really quickly. Like, oh,
yeah. I only know like one or two people that I can think of that went in the kind of the correct way, which is go to CalArts in LA, and then you get hired right out of college. But
it's almost not that different with comics either, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's the same kind of just nonsense.
Except for with comics. With comics, you can make your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, like, as far as it becoming sort of your break-in, But yeah, it's a little hard to make your own TV production.
For now.
We're doing it right now. This is pretty impressive.
I think the really hard part is like getting to a competitive level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Getting to that competitive level, where like you're not just good enough to
Did I lose everybody?
Draw a pose.
We're here.
Somebody's muted.
Okay. I think the call dropped for me for a second there.
I still hear you.
Well, now I'm afraid to talk. Are you guys there or what?
Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
Okay.
We're wondering when you're going to finish your story about the finger.
I think the real hard part for breaking in. Oh, yeah. That story is dumb. Nailed it. I didn't know that was such a funny story until I told it. I'm pretty happy with myself.
put something on my screen. It keeps flashing to me, and there's nothing here. It's like I'm not doing anything. It's bad. Okay, keep going. Keep talking, guys. I don't want to be the only one.
Okay, well, I had an
idea. Has nothing on it.
It feels like the call keeps dropping, or I'm like behind. But anyway, I was gonna say that like to get like breaking in is one thing, but it's like, and you kind of have to know people. Sure, it's true, but like the amount of competition there is just artistically, like I think the really bigger question is like how do you practice for a significant amount of time, skills necessary to even apply, because the people who are already in the industry work 24/7 drawing things, so they're continually getting better, and I think that's kind of where the steep curve lies. Because if you have the skills, I don't know, it's a two-pronged thing. It's like you got to have the skills and be able to have the connections too.
So what you're saying is it's impossible.
It's impossible. Don't even do it.
So the answer is just give up. No. Oh, that's so sad. I think the biggest thing I would say to, who was it? Cooler Man? Was that Cooler Man who asked it? Is just if you want to get into animation or TV or anything, you have to prove yourself first. And so you do that by finishing projects. So even if it's just animating something on your own and, you know, making a little 5-minute show on your own and putting it on YouTube, that is proof to someone else that you can do that. They'll never hire you unless they can see that you've done it already. You know, I didn't get hired at DreamWorks because I had a good resume. It was because I had impressed James Baxter when at this other little small studio, and then he kept asking me questions, and then he ended up hiring me to do what I was doing at this small studio for him, and his project was for DreamWorks, and then, you know, DreamWorks pulled us all in, and we started working on that stuff at DreamWorks. So, but that's just like the story of my whole career, is like finish something and then new opportunities present themselves. And but you have to show people that you can at least do it better than the average person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be a master animator or anything, but you just need to show that you can do something and finish it and get a finished, decent result at something. You know, whether that's, and it could just be like a niche thing too. Like maybe you're not going to be a good animator or a good storyboard artist or whatever. Maybe you're just really good at colors, or maybe you're just really good at concept design, or maybe you're just really good at making props, you know, but you can only show people that by doing it and just trying to just prove yourself by going out there and starting to produce stuff, you know, that becomes your portfolio. I mean, I don't know, chime in guys if you think I'm
No, that sounds right.
wrong.
Can y'all hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. No, that sounds right. I think it also helps being in LA.
Yeah, for continuing the jobs, that's for sure. Yeah.
I tried really hard to get in from Texas, and it just didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to always say, if you want to get into the work, go to LA, but obviously I'm not there now, but I think it's slowly changing to where you won't have to be in a place like LA, but it's still to get your foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And have a lot of opportunities just everywhere you turn. LA is a great place for it. You know, it'd probably be like New York would be for the fashion industry, you know, or whatever. So, yeah.
I do miss doing my own thing, though.
Yeah.
Man, everybody got quiet.
All focused.
Yeah. now will be the hour where we're just all working really quietly.
It's nap time.
So what have you been doing lately, Will, as far as anything, really? What's up? How's your kid doing?
Oh, he's good. He's adorable. He's started preschool this week. And
Nice.
yeah, he's getting cuter somehow.
How old is your spawn?
He's just turned 2 in December.
Okay. Man.
Yeah, and then I've been getting in shape.
What I'm trying to do.
Trying to unfatten myself.
I hear that.
So I can be around for his 3rd birthday.
Really dark.
And I laugh. I laugh at your misery. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to get my YouTube channel stuff going again, but it's just been really difficult to do anything other than work. You know, you work 9 to 5, and then you get home. Kid wants some attention, and wife wants some attention.
I don't know how. Kind of amazing that Doug would come home and draw after.
I am flabbergasted.
Working at VeggieTales.
He's incredible. But I've always been amazed at how many books he's been able to crank out, let alone the animation stuff.
Yeah, when I was still at DreamWorks, he was and he got the job at, there doing VeggieTales. We'd have lunch every now and then, and he told me that, and he brought in a stack of these beautiful pages he was inking. He was like, "Yeah, I'm doing one of these at night, and then 5 on the weekend."
Whoa!
Like, what? I don't get it. How? Just a monster.
The beast.
Yeah.
And then the writing part of it too, like I could probably get the art done, but then writing the story too, like that's just insane.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time. Like, I've been trying to start development on a second project, and like even just that is difficult to like. Hard to be in the headspace of 2 different stories at the same time.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, I think that's, well, the speed in writing, like, okay, so backing up, Webtoons, I was thinking of pitching another thing to them immediately after I finished Citra, and then one of the things they wanted is me to go digital so I could go faster, and the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't know if I could write faster. That's my thing. I could speed up the process.
Yeah.
But writing it and putting in that time to think through it, I don't think I could rush that at this stage in my, writing career.
Right.
I just think I would break things too much,
Yeah.
So.
I think it depends on the type of story you're writing. But man, it's taken me 3 years, but I'm finally starting to make progress on like making stories crack quicker.
What do you mean?
A little bit.
What do you mean by that?
So for me, I'll work. So Monday through Wednesday, I'll draw the comic, and then Thursday through Saturday, I'll thumbnail it and write it for the next week. And those thumbnail times is just so miserable because I essentially can't have a weekend until the ideas are done.
Oh wow!
But so I have to but it's been really good because I think I'm starting to learn how to create story faster. It's kind of like drawing. How you can learn how to draw faster. it's possible. It's just really painful, like mentally, because you have to throw away bad stuff and just, force yourself to like not be content and continue to try to push. But and even then I still run. It's like chess, it's the most complicated thing in the world, and you can always mess up and go down a wrong corner. But I think there's ways you can like create story faster.
Yeah, I can see how it's just like a muscle, like anything. Like you keep working at it, and you get faster at doing it correctly the first time.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's hard. It's never like it's even on getting better. It's not like it's like painless. It's always painful.
Yeah,
it's like if you're not doing. I don't know. I think if it's not painful, you're probably not like making something super ambitious or something like that,
Yeah.
But
seems like the only people that don't think it's painful don't have a filter for what's good and bad.
Yeah. And I guess there could be advantages for them too, because like they're just they put out so much, something might blow up a little bit. But.
Right. Well, my first book, I couldn't have finished it if I knew it was bad. I was so oblivious. It's like, wee.
Yeah.
This is the best thing ever. I know Jeff Smith
Brubaker.
said that
those bookshelves.
Oh my god!
Why do we always do like every time I write a bookshelf in my books? I'm like, this is a good idea, and then I hate myself later.
Are you using paths for those for the books?
I'm just using like a clipping plane here.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what you're talking about. So I have my books that I've created, and these are duplicated like crazy.
Yeah.
And then I have the details clipped onto it, so I can kind of duplicate it. And then, there's shadow layers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all with the lasso tool, though.
Even that lasso tool,
It's all because of DreamWorks and working on Kung Fu Panda. That's right. I started really falling in love with it there. And there's some things that,
Okay.
There's some things that the lasso tool just speeds up super fast too. So, like if I had to draw this and then flat it and then color it, it would be twice as long as me just using the lasso tool to just block out all these shapes.
Bookshelves are like the crowd scenes of ordinary objects. Just like,
I'm gonna like put that on one of those inspirational art prints and put it on the wall. Bookshelves are the crowd scenes of everyday objects.
Or like grocery stores. That's the worst.
I don't think I've ever done that. Yeah.
I did it once when I was younger, and I've never like attempted to draw another grocery store scene again.
You've written them out of your scripts.
Yeah. Oh no, this is outside of the grocery store, not in the grocery store.
They're just going to refer to the grocery store.
They're only in the freezer cooler aisle, and the windows are all fogged up.
Have you guys ever like daydreamed about like a really good premise that would just involve like a guy in a room or something like that, where it's just like there's nothing to draw here? Or I thought of a comic that takes place where I live, so that I could just take pictures of all the backgrounds and then just draw the guy on top of it.
There's some artists that do that. Tim Bradstreet, you know Tim Bradstreet?
Yeah,
It sounds familiar.
I ripped off his style, and then I got a job at White Wolf like immediately after.
Wow.
Serious, I did.
But he used to, I don't know if he still does this, but he used to hire actors and shoot on location, put them in costume, and then would basically kind of trace over them.
Yeah, let me show you some pictures I did that ripped him off. This was my first art job ever.
And I was like, that seems like so much work.
It really does. That seems like way more complicated.
But I guess that's what Alex Ross does.
I'm looking at his work right now, and it looks like photos.
I was both like super inspired and super deflated when he told me that. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Like, here's one.
It was like, oh, I guess I could do that too.
Nice.
So it made me feel hopeful, but then I was like, wait, this doesn't all come out of your head.
Yes.
Totally.
Here, let me. So see, these I drew these in like '94, but they were.
And you had a horse to model for you?
The horse modeled in my basement. No, the guy did. But see, like all that cross hatching, it was just from I took a photo of my friend and.
See, that just looks like the '90s.
Oh man!
All the cross hatching.
Good old Spawn cross hatching.
So this is my first paid work. I got $25. $25 for a quarter page.
For White, and that's from White Wolf.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I worked on about 5 of their books, but it's because I saw Tim Bradstreet's stuff and I was like, anyone could do that. And my friends were like, yeah, sure. And then they were like, prove it. So I did some, and then they're like, wow. And we went to a Comic-Con, and my friends went over to the White Wolf booth and was like, my friend can do that just like him. And they're like, whatever, show me.
They're like, you're hired.
And then I showed them my portfolio, and they hired me on the spot.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So White Wolf's a publishing company?
They were like a games. Didn't they do games?
Yeah.
RPG games?
Yeah, like Vampire the Masquerade was a role-playing game.
Yeah.
This is one of my friends. All I copied was his face and his hands.
Your friend looks just like an orc.
I guess I made up the teeth.
Yeah, it is kind of a whole of diminishing returns because I thought about this, and like you know like Jason, I know you'll make these, hire someone to make like a Maya model for like some type of like a ship or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. And I thought like, oh yeah, I could build all these models, and then I could like, we could hire actors, and like we could have a set, and essentially you're just making a movie at that point. And it's like, oh wait, there's a way more profitable use of this, of all this money rather than making a nice comic book out of it.
It was different times back then. Like like I was desperate for anything that was in my realm of interest. Like you didn't have the internet. Like you'd have to comb through dingy old comic shops and game shops just to find something that looked fun.
Yeah, that's true.
And like now it's just, we've got such a plethora of, like, everybody has their own thing now. Completely different times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool how fast you can find inspiration now.
Yeah. Almost a detriment.
Yeah.
Like I had folders like that I cherished full of like reference and stuff that inspired me that I'd collected meticulously and clipped out and organized. And now it's like, oh look, it's a fire hose of inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, that was like a weapon to have an organized filing cabinet full of stuff.
Yeah,
that you spent a lot of time making
for the simplest things like drawing a horse or a castle or something. Like I had like 15 books on castles that I cherished. Like they were absolutely my favorite things in the world. And now I'm like, oh, these keep getting in the way. If I want to draw a castle, I'll just look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the internet killed that because there was an industry around it. Like, if you've seen these documentaries on these manga artists, and like they used to have like these huge bookshelves full of like they would make huge books of just reference photos everywhere where they would, it was like a little form of the internet for reference.
Huh.
But now you got the web.
It makes me wonder what's next, because like with VR coming down the pipeline and being photogrammetry and that kind of stuff where you can 3D model an environment like almost instantaneously, just from real life. Like we won't need to draw anything anymore.
Dude, I was listening to a thing today. Sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
No.
I was listening to a report today about how like satellites have gotten, they now built satellites that are like the size of a shoebox.
They're smaller. Rubik's Cube. Is it the
Yeah.
Planet Money thing? Is it the Planet Money?
Yeah, I've been listening to that.
That was such a fun
And
interview.
Yeah, well, it's fun, but I started to think about it, and I was like, dang, this is nuts, because they can like fit like 12 or 15 of these little teeny satellites on one rocket, and then launch. Well, there's already this company that they were describing that has essentially like, it's like a string of pearls, almost like a sequence of satellites that are just almost like a necklace around the Earth, and they take photos, so you can get a photo of of an area every 24 hours.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like the amount of information that they can collect, and they can essentially, because I remember hearing another report about how like they had, there was all this, I don't know, essentially surveillance is now global, and it's only a matter of time before they like teach computers to like crunch all that information that they're visual information that the satellites are bringing.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know.
Well, and what SpaceX is wanting to do now, Elon Musk, in the next year, he's wanting to launch global Wi-Fi, like broadband Wi-Fi satellite network.
Yeah.
And it's just like 1,000 tiny little satellites that would basically create free broadband for the entire world.
Dang.
Wow.
And they want to hook it up with a new cryptocurrency, one without all the Bitcoin BS attached to it, basically to replace the banking system, because it's much more stable way of keeping track of value, and it would be globalized. But it would instantly we would all have free or super cheap Wi-Fi anywhere in the world. And so the next step would be like they'll be giving away cell phones, because that they want you to access their network, and so they have to give you the cell phone to do it, and then they want your information. Like that's basically the gold of the future is our information.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrifying now. Like it's getting to the point. Like I bought hummus for the first time like in my life. Okay.
Oh, I know. I was tracking you.
So I went and bought hummus at Target. Didn't text about it. Didn't tweet about it. Didn't say anything to anybody. Get home. Get on Facebook. There's an ad for the hummus that I just bought on Facebook. Like, what the hell?
That's weird.
Like, so now you're tracking my credit cards. Who is giving you, like, good God. I give up.
Well, now you can buy the ad, click the ad for the hummus you just bought. That makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, why would they do that?
Yeah, it's like,
Join our hummus Facebook group.
Yeah, right.
We saw you bought our hummus. There's hummus among us.
Yeah, it's not quite as intense as that, but I went to Google and was looking up a certain helicopter, and for reference, and then the next day I went onto Instagram and I went to like search in the search feature to find a friend of mine, and the first thing that pops up is a video of that helicopter. It says, "These are videos you might like." I'm like, how is Instagram tied to what I search on Google? I mean, it was a specific helicopter.
Oh, they all share information. I swear,
Weird.
like it's ridiculous.
Have you guys heard of?
I'll send a text to my dad saying to pick up NyQuil, and then I'm getting ads for NyQuil.
Have you guys heard of that website, DataCoo? DataCoo. It's a website.
It sounds like a rapper name.
It's where you can. The idea is that our data is worth money, and companies are buying and selling it without our permission. And so, if we just sell our data ourselves through like this website, we could get paid for it. Which is
where do I sign up?
Right.
And weird all at the same time. But
it's not surprising that the primitive technology guy, his channel like is blown up on YouTube. Have you seen this?
No.
It's this guy that lives in Australia, and he just goes out into the outback and makes a hut out of mud, out of sticks, and water. And there's no talking. He doesn't talk at all. There's no like cell phones. It's just a guy in his shorts building mud huts from scratch with no tools. And he gets like millions of views as soon as the video pops up.
He must have a good data package.
You know what's nuts? Like, you know how much, like if Facebook was a subscription service and you could turn off ads, like, you know how much we would have to pay per year to have no ads on Facebook? It's something like $11.
Really? I thought you were going to say like thousands. Oh boy.
No, like they don't, all of this thing, like.
It's so cheap.
Yeah. Like that's what we sell all our information for is $11.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
And wouldn't it be nice to have like an option, you know, at least to have like a private information and be able to pay for it.
Wait, what's happening? Wait, I missed something.
I was just saying, if I heard somewhere that if Facebook had, you know, had a subscription service where you'd pay for it, and you would have no ads on Facebook, it would only be like $11. That's like how much they make per each of us per year or something like that. Really not that much.
I'd probably get at least $12. That's and the guy that stuck his whole pinky up his nose, that guy's worth $12. Nothing.
Sorry, if I don't respond, it's because I think I don't know, you were saying it and the exact punchline of your joke dropped out and I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
You just didn't think it was funny.
Yeah.
Did you hear that part?
I did.
I heard that, Jason. Thanks for that.
Oh, sorry. I was hoping you weren't going to hear it. Oh, boy. You guys making progress on your stuff as you're talking?
Yeah. I need to hop off. It was great talking to you guys.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to end it. We've been on a couple hours now.
Golly.
Yeah. Well, cool, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out.
You guys was really cool.
I'll send you a notification again next time this can happen.
Sounds good.
Maybe we'll try to do it more often.
All right.
Cool. All right. See you guys. Have a good Valentine's night.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
Bye.